Hi, my name's Andy and welcome to the channel Andy's Tech, and welcome back to the channel if you've already subscribed. It's nice to see that some people are finding my videos interesting, the couple I've made. So welcome back guys, I really appreciate those of you that have so far. And yeah, on to today's video. I don't like to do pre-built, I like to do custom PCs. But I'm always on the lookout for getting some performance on the cheap, and that's where this little thing popped up on eBay. It's a HP Z600 workstation. It's an 8-core system, and it popped up for a steal. I won it for £41 with £5 delivery. And today we're going to do a video and see what we can get out of this old system, see if there's any upgrades we can make, and see if it's still a viable option for a budget gaming rig in 2021. So enjoy the video, folks. So let's talk about the specs of the system. And as you can probably guess from the title of the video, this is an 8-core system. It has twin CPUs, twin Xeons, and the Xeons in there at present are the E5506s. It's a bit of a low baller system. I believe it was near enough the lowest spec system of these you could buy when new, with the 2 cores, and they're quite slow cores. They're running at 2.13 gigahertz with a slight turbo on those, no hyper threading, so it's just the 8 cores. It came with 2 gigabytes of RAM. I upgraded this to 2 4 gig sticks of 133 DDR3 ECC Memory that I had lying around, but that doesn't cost a lot. I believe they're it's about £10 for 8 gigs currently on eBay, so I put that on just to help it out. It was listed with a GT430. I was quite interested for it to come with this little card. I do like messing around with my old naffy rubbish cards, but unfortunately, to my peril, it had a GT610 fitted. It's an OEM one, it's a non-branded one, and yeah, it's got a 650 watt 80 plus power supply with an all-important 6-pin connector. But the most important thing really, and the thing that attracted me to this system in the first place, is the twin Xeons. And the fact that we can upgrade the twin Xeons that are currently in the system. We'll get onto that in a moment. I'm going to add a better graphics card. I'm going to add some storage, put Windows on it, and we're going to upgrade the Xeons and run some tests and see if it can still game in 2021, see if we can have a bit of fun on it. So let's roll on to that. Right, so the 2 Xeons I have chosen for the upgrade are x5570s, and I got a matched pair of these on eBay for £6 delivered. So you can see where the theory behind this comes in. The x5570 is a 4-core 8-thread chip with a base clock of 2.93 gigahertz, and it turbos to just over 3, and that would increase obviously our base clock nearly by a third. And obviously we've got the extra hyper threading, so we're running at 8-core 16 threads, and I think for £6 that's a pretty good upgrade. It's very simple to install the CPUs. You just remove the 4 screws on each processor, unplug the fan, and then obviously take the old CPU out, fit in the new one, and refit as you disassembled, and that's it really. But I guess we should talk about the main ingredient really, the graphics card. I kind of had a budget for £100 in mind for the whole system, and I sort of set aside about £50 for the graphics card, and that's where this comes into play. A Radeon R7 370 2GB card. I picked this up on eBay for exactly 50 quid. You know, I am aware that there is a GPU crisis everywhere at the moment, so it didn't really seem realistic spending like £200 on an overpriced RX 470 or something 4GB, because if you've got that sort of money to invest, you're going to want to buy a better system anyway, and you know, this was a bit of fun and a budget system, so that would kind of bring the budget up to just over 100 quid. I've also added 120 gig SSD and a 1 terabyte boot drive, storage drive that I have all my games on, That's been added to that, so I'll have to factor in that cost and the RAM. But let's install this graphics card. So again, very simple to install the new GPU into this system. There's 2 clips on the back here, and that undoes. We then simply take out 610, and that can go into the drawer of graphics cards only a mother could love. And installing the new card, we simply just line it up, push it down till you hear a click, like that. Close up the brackets. We then take our 6-pin power connector, and quite simply we just plug it in. So that's ready to go now, folks. Let's put the side panel back on and test out some games. Something worth mentioning quick before we get into the games, just while we've got Cinebench running in the background, is temps. These systems came with 2 sorts of fans. They came with a performance fan for the higher wattage processors, the 6-core Xeons, and they were rated at 130 watts. The fans, and they come with normal 2 non-performance fans, which this system has. And with the new x5570s in, the system runs quite hot. The fans seem to run at idle until you reach about 80 degrees, and then they spin up and they kind of keep the temperature around 80. I don't know if that's a thing with these or not, but it's just worth mentioning that it's quite hot. So if you were looking to buy one of these, maybe it's worth seeing if it comes with the performance fans or not. I believe they have 6 heat pipes, not the 4 that these have. And as you can see with Cinebench, it's quite a respectable score, 5,242, run over the 3 tests on R23. And with the old Xeons in it, we were getting about 2,500. So that's over double the Cinebench score. And yeah, that's very respectable. Certainly for like editing at 1080p, this system will just cut through it like butter. This video was edited on this machine as well. So yeah, that's that. So let's jump into a few games now. So first up we have CSGO, and we're running at a 1080p native resolution with all the graphical options set to low, and the texture filtering mode set to trilinear. And as expected, it's a nice smooth experience. We were averaging sort of 130 plus FPS, and it's very enjoyable at this frame rate. There were some drops and stuff, and obviously the on-screen recording has dropped the frame rate quite a bit while I captured this footage. The footage is from a bot match, but I did a few online games as well, and it's perfectly playable like this. I could play all day. So yeah, it's a very good CSGO experience. And next up we have GTA 5, and again at 1080p resolution, with all the graphical settings set to normal, in DirectX 10 mode, with anti-stropic filtering on ×4, and population density, traffic density, stuff like that is set to medium. And again, I was pleasantly surprised by this. GTA is quite an old game now, and it's pretty well optimized for old hardware, but still it does like cores. 4 cores is minimum really, otherwise it can struggle. But we were getting an 82 FPS average, 1% lows of 50, and we were regularly seeing above 100 FPS. So again, GTA 5 very playable. Very surprised. So this little system's doing all right so far. But next up, I'm going to throw something at it a bit tougher. Formula 1 2019, a couple of years old now, as the title would suggest, obviously, but still a very popular game. We were running it at 1080p native resolution again, with the medium in-game preset, with TAA on and 2x anti-stropic filtering. The footage again was taken from the in-game benchmark, but the figures were taken over 3 10-lap races, and we had an average of 64 FPS with 1% lows of 49 and a max FPS of 76. Again, it was a very playable experience and well above the 60 frames I like to target. especially at 1080p resolution. I thought with this little card we might have to drop the resolution down slightly, but it smashed it. And you know, this is a £100 system, and we can still play relatively new titles at 1080p with decent frame rates. So yeah, finally we have Far Cry New Dawn, and this is a very beautiful game. It's very pretty, even at low resolutions and low settings. Somehow it still manages to look very nice. But again, we were playing at 1080p, but this time with the low preset in the in-game menu. We were averaging 50 FPS average, 1% lows of 38, and a max FPS of 63. I would still call this playable, even though it's below 60 FPS. Certainly between that 30 and 60 mark, I would still call a playable experience. And this is a game I've been playing a lot at the moment. I'm really into it. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this little video. And to conclude, is it worth buying one of these old HP servers? Yeah, certainly, if you can get it cheap enough. The parts are very cheap. The RAM is easy, cheap to upgrade. Storage doesn't cost a lot, and obviously it's easy to work on. Comes with a decent power supply. You know, if you're just looking for something to stick a graphics card in and get playing games for not a lot of money, certainly, yeah, I would go for it. One thing to watch out for is the temps, obviously. If you can find one of these with the performance fans, like I mentioned, probably be a better option to go for. You can buy these like ready to buy now on eBay for sort of £120 with RAM and storage and all that delivered to your door. So yeah, I would recommend it. It's a very nice little system. I've actually kept it. I'm going to keep it for my editing rig at my desk. So it will be making future videos. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't, please leave a dislike. Tell me what you don't like about the video. If you do, please leave a like and a comment. Please subscribe if you want to see more videos. And thank you very much. Take care.